Hello, everyone, and welcome back to More Than Commas. And this is the podcast where we remind you that wealth is about more than just dollar signs. It's going to be about living a life that matters, living a life that you want to live into. But today we're talking about something that drives a lot of people crazy and causes a ton of damage to their balance sheet. That's this idea of chasing more. You see, we live in a culture that's constantly whispering to us more is better, bigger house, newer car, higher income, larger investments. But if we're not careful, this chase for more becomes more like a treadmill that it feels like we can't get off of. Now, if you haven't already, take a second, please subscribe, do a comment, share this with somebody that you know, like the video, give us a review, anything. Maybe it just make me feel better for the day. And if you do that, I appreciate it. Now, let me start with a picture that you might recognize. A family, they go and upgrade their home. It's a beautiful home, everything they quote unquote always wanted. But with a bigger home comes what? A bigger mortgage. You have to buy furniture for more rooms. You have higher property taxes, greater upkeep, a more expensive roof when it needs to be replaced. It's very easy to then upgrade your car, take a little bit different vacation, send your kids to a different school. Now, on the street, when you look at their life, it looks like they're doing great. But if you were to look on paper on the balance sheet, they're running faster and faster just to keep up. That's this treadmill of chasing more. Now, Dr. Thomas Stanley is the author of The Millionaire Next Door, and he discovered a fascinating pattern that wealthy parents will buy homes for their children in good, solid, wealthy, safe neighborhoods, typically just paid off as kind of a gifting or estate planning strategy. And what they're hoping to do is give their children a leg up by being able to pay for this house. But because the children now live in a neighborhood they couldn't have put themselves in, then they begin to mirror the lifestyle of the people around them. As we were just saying, the idea of the bigger cars, better vacations, country club membership, all of those things that they're naturally doing to keep up with the community of people around them becomes a burden. And it's one of the contributing factors for why that next generation doesn't manage to build or maintain the wealth that's left behind. But there's a reason why more is never enough. And it's a principle in psychology called the hedonic treadmill. And it's this idea that we quickly adapt to any new level of wealth or any new level of comfort. That initial promotion that got us all excited, or that new car smell, it just feels normal now. And then because we just chase the last thing to acquire it, it's very easy to have the habit to just chase the next thing. But the hidden cost is every step toward more can cost us more. Time, margin, freedom, even relationships. While we think we're gaining, we might actually be trading some of the most satisfying things life could give us for the most fleeting of that next achievement. Now, Joe Rogan made a really good point about this. Let's watch this.
Like I always tell people this. This is an important lesson that I learned when I was 27. When I was 27 was the first time I ever had a nice apartment. Mm-hmm. I moved to Hollywood. I was on a television show, and I got this place in North Hollywood, and it had a loft. And I had a pool table in my living room. I'm like, this is amazing.
This is the dream.
And I was sitting down. I didn't even have furniture yet. And I was dating this girl, and we were sitting down listening to Seal. After a few months, I had this revelation. I was like, oh, this is just home. This is the same feeling I had in my apartment in New York.
Yeah.
It's just home.
The high wears off.
Your home feels like your home, no matter if it's a $50 million mansion or a condo that you're paying $600 a month on.
You see, we're guaranteed to get dissatisfied. It's just part of the human experience unless we intentionally begin cultivating contentment. And there's a biblical connection here too. Scripture has a lot to say about this. Just in Ecclesiastes 5:10, it says, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their incomes. This too is meaningless. Now, that doesn't mean money is bad, but it does mean that the chase for more, for its own sake, it is empty. And it will never deliver what we hope it will.
This episode is brought to you by Sound Financial Group. At Sound Financial, we specialize in helping clients build strong, long-term financial strategies for their retirement. If you're looking for personalized advice to help manage your wealth, visit us at sfgway.com to learn more about how we can help you achieve your goals.
So what are the hidden costs of this? Well, let me highlight 3. First is time. Bigger lifestyles require more hours at work, more stress, more time away from people that matter most to us. But you also have to keep in mind that every single good item, artifact you acquire, that new tractor, pet, an additional vehicle, whatever it is, each item requires maintenance. And if we don't maintain those things that we did acquire, they do rot over time. And so that maintenance requires both time and money. If you get a boat, that thing needs to be winterized every year. And that's something that just wasn't in your calendar the year before. Second is flexibility. Higher expenses mean typically fewer choices. We give up some amount of our autonomy and surplus. That family with a big mortgage can feel that, and you've heard it before, that idea of house poor, where it feels like so much is going to your housing. And it's a little bit like loading up your backpack for, say, a backpacking trip. At first, what you feel like you might want to have is absolutely everything with you. But the pack itself, the thing that you thought was going to help you with your journey, all of these extra items, actually just make the journey more difficult and less enjoyable. So how do we find freedom with this word called enough, having enough? You see, the antidote to more is just learning what enough looks like. When we define enough, we can stop chasing. We can focus on meaning, relationships, and impact. Even knowing true wealth isn't the endless pursuit of more. It's the ability to say, I have enough now and I can live. So you don't need to have arrived and have the number in your investments that you need to have that feeling. You see, if you have a strategy that you can be confident in, you and your spouse are going to be able to reach financial independence and have that work optional lifestyle. You can gain that peace in the current moment, knowing that that's what your future holds. And a great deal of that mood and where we get disturbed and maybe even try to satiate ourselves with some of that financial nervousness with a new purchase is that once you know what you're doing now is going to care for you in the future, it alleviates a tremendous amount of stress. That puts you in a position where if you want to, you can still shoot for more because you enjoy the game, but not because you have this internal psychological unhealthy drive to keep going for more because we haven't defined what enough is. Now, I've walked this road myself. There were times I've said to myself, if I just hit this income, make that achievement, get that item, then I'm going to feel secure. Then it's going to be handled. But every milestone, and in fact, because of things like maintenance, even some of those objectives that were achieved, the achievement of the objective itself actually erased some amount of autonomy. So for you, I just have you ask yourself, what has more cost you up until now? Has chasing more cost you peace of mind? Has it cost you time with your family? Or has it distracted you from what really matters? The truth is, an advisor can help you there too. A good advisor isn't just going to help you focus on only growing your wealth, but help you clarify what's your definition of enough. And then design a plan that aligns with what enough is for you and your family, because your money is aligned with your values. It stops that hedonic treadmill everybody is chasing. So here's my challenge to you. I would say just let's grow our attention span, set some time aside, just 10 minutes, and write down what an enough looks like for you and your family. What's the lifestyle like? What are the kinds of things that you would be doing? And then maybe get a sense of what those things cost. Now, even if you're enough, maybe you're building and growing with a young family, your enough right now might be higher than your current income. I still encourage you to do this, because having an aim of how much is enough will have you be able to cultivate contentment on your way to a higher income, making it less and less difficult. Or I might even say, even to the point that it's easy to begin setting aside into investments to be able to build your financial independence so that you can have a work optional lifestyle that if you cultivate contentment, it leaves you much more money to set aside, build that autonomy and that future freedom, and get off of this stressful treadmill of more in this life. But I hope you guys stick around. Our next episode is going to be how we want to use wealth as a tool and not have it just live for us as a trophy. But if this episode resonated with you, please share it with somebody you care about. And I'm Paul Adams. This has been More Than Commas. Be sure to drop a subscribe. In fact, if you want to lay a comment and you stayed here this long, just put down in the comments, this one is for Paul. I'll know you did it just because I wanted a comment. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you back here next week. Now get out there and live a great life.